Hey, welcome to SIB, your online guide to a healthier you. Today's episode, decaf, please.
Hello, I'm Alina Bishkova, here today with your evening news. Caffeine is a drug that works as a mild stimulant. It is found not only in coffee, but also tea, cola, energy drinks, chocolate, and some medications. Small amounts of caffeine were thought to have positive effects, such as increasing alertness and concentration. However, it was later announced on June 15, 2012, that there was new evidence suggesting few nutritional benefits to caffeine consumption. Caffeine may increase your risk of heart disease, as well as disturb your sleeping patterns, make you irritable or nervous. Research is also being conducted on the adverse health effects of caffeine and heart health, bone health, behavior, cancer risk, and fertility. However, there's a lot of controversial evidence around caffeine and physical activity. Let's go to Skylar on the scene.
Thanks, Alina. Well, we all know that many people rely on that one or several cups of coffee in their morning. But what is it that gets us pepped up on our daily routine? In a peer-reviewed journal, it was stated that caffeine is effective in early morning activity, since indigestion of caffeine can benefit performance and vigor. So why do we all drink coffee if we're not all getting up for practice or high-intensity physical activity? When caffeine is proven to increase anxiety, which affects your ability to work or keep calm and focused. This is not what we want. Caffeine takes on a more psychological effect than a physical effect, because when people expect it to wake you up, they don't really know what it's really supposed to do to you. The good news is that sedentary men tend to be more active when drinking caffeine because it allows them to do more exercises, therefore increasing physical activity. That's Skylar Mishka. Back to you, Alina.
Thanks, Skylar. Now, an important thing to consider is that caffeine might not affect all individuals equally. If you find that you need 2 or more cups of coffee in order to feel alert, or find its effects wearing off sooner than you'd expect, your body might be lacking a certain gene that affects caffeine metabolism. Individuals lacking a certain gene are at a higher risk of getting heart attacks, as caffeine is retained longer in their bodies, doubling its effects for every cup of coffee consumed. Now, the amount of caffeine you're consuming depends on your beverage of choice and its brewing method. Let's look at some examples. An 8-ounce cup of brewed coffee can contain anywhere between 95 and 200 milligrams of caffeine, while a cup of instant coffee contains 30 to 170 milligrams. Decaf coffee still contains between 2 to 12 milligrams of caffeine. A can of pop can contain 35 to 45 milligrams, and a cup of black tea can contain 40 to 120 milligrams of caffeine. Now, the recommended intakes on caffeine consumption can be found on the Dietitians of Canada website. The amounts vary depending on your age and if you are pregnant, but no adult should consume more than 400 milligrams of caffeine per day. Keep in mind that if you metabolize caffeine slowly, it only takes half of that amount to double your heart attack risk.
Something that many people drink is energy drinks. These beverages are supposed to boost your performance and make you alert. Although scientists say caffeine-carrying energy drinks have no effect on sprint performance, which is fast-twitch muscles where you exert a lot of energy in a small period of time. Caffeine has a greatly beneficial effect on slow muscle fiber, such as your soleus, which is located on the inner part of your calf. 200 milligrams is supposedly the optimal dose of caffeine for performance. So caffeine improves performance, but when you have so much caffeine that you rely on it, you build up this dependency. So when you get to this level of caffeine, you have to double dose to see new effects. It is healthiest to not double dose on caffeine and only use caffeine when you need it. Caffeine double dosing can cause sleep deprivation, anxiety, difficulty relaxing, and loss of precision. The most recommended use for caffeine-carrying energy drinks is driving for long periods of time. Red Bull, for example, does not give you wings. It's effective for reducing sleepiness and prolonged highway driving. It is said that energy drinks can improve cognitive function, such as learning, memory, and mood state. But this is only when used at infrequent doses of 200 milligrams.
Now for children, most of their caffeine intake comes from pop or energy drinks. Now, other than the negative implications of caffeine in these drinks, there's also raised concerns about possible use of carcinogenic ingredients, as well as the implications of all the extra calories consumed. Picturing what this does to your body, this should be a pretty good visual.
Clearer thinking and better athletic performance is what media is presenting to these young children. But it's hard for these children to resist this possible body enhancement. 1/3 of middle school children partake in energy drinks. Is this okay? It's proven that children who consume these energy drinks have an increased risk of kidney and liver damage, dysrhythmias, seizures, and possibly death with extreme doses. You think it's okay? Yes, there is the effects of increased reaction time and physical performance. But is this really worth all these negative effects with the added palpitations, irritability, increased blood pressure, and withdrawal symptoms with only mild doses? Energy drinks offer no therapeutic benefit, but they do offer potential for significant harm, especially in youngsters with cardiac disease, seizures, behavioral disorders, and are taking medications. One of the most common effects of caffeine consumption is chronic daily headaches in children. Back to you, Alina.
Thank you, Skylar. So what does this mean? Decaf coffee or tea are actually shown to have significant health benefits. A substance called flavonoids, found in green, black, or white tea, has shown to improve the risk for heart disease as well as the risk for stroke. Black tea can decrease your heart disease risk by 20 to 30%, as well as those who have been known to drink 5 cups of green tea per day. Do you like chocolate? Well, dark chocolate also contains caffeine, and it can decrease your heart disease risk by a whopping 37% and your stroke incidence by up to 29%. Remember that 200 to 400 milligrams of flavonoids per day is what's needed to reach full tissue saturation for optimal heart benefits.
Last random question, why are males disappearing?
So you may still be wondering, why are males disappearing? Well, bisphenol acid, or BPA, is a chemical found in many products, anything from sunglasses to iPods, water bottles, dairy products, carpet, cosmetics, and even baby bottles. It is a hormone-mimicking chemical that can destroy even the basic building blocks of our DNA. Many more males are becoming infertile, with a 200% increase in male genital birth defects, as well as 3 million fewer baby boys born since 1970 than expected.
Today's random question, what's the dirtiest thing in your kitchen? Now that you know many things about caffeine, make the right decisions when you're going to use caffeine in the morning or for exercise performance.